Imagine this. You're young, you're in love, and you're trying to travel on a budget that barely covers gas money. That was exactly the situation I found myself in last summer with Alex. We'd been dating for about 6 months, and we were at that beautiful stage where everything feels magical, but our bank accounts were decidedly less enchanted. I'm Jamie, by the way, a 24-year-old graphic designer who had been saving up for months to take this trip to San Francisco with my boyfriend Alex, who works as a barista while finishing his degree in environmental science. We're both dreamers with empty wallets, a combination that forces creativity when it comes to travel planning. When we first started planning this trip, we sat at my tiny kitchen table with a spreadsheet open on my laptop, trying to figure out how to make a 3-day weekend in San Francisco work on our laughably small budget. The flights were already booked, thank you, airline points, but accommodation was going to be the real budget killer. San Francisco isn't exactly known for its affordable hotels, and we quickly realized that even the most basic room was going to eat up most of our spending money. What if we just share a room? Alex suggested, his eyes lighting up with that problem-solving gleam I'd come to adore. I mean, we spend most nights together anyway. We could split the cost and have more money for actually experiencing the city. It made perfect sense. We were already practically living together at my apartment, so sharing a hotel room wasn't exactly a leap. Plus, the money we'd save could go toward experiencing the city, those famous cable cars, Fisherman's Wharf, maybe even a nice dinner with a view of the Golden Gate Bridge. Let me explain why this matters. This wasn't just about saving money. For two young gay men still navigating the world together, there's always that slight hesitation when traveling. Will we be comfortable? Will we be welcome? Will we have to deal with awkward questions or uncomfortable stares? Sharing a room wasn't just economical. It was also a statement about our relationship. We were partners planning a trip together, just like any other couple. As our departure date approached, our excitement grew. We researched hidden gems in the city, planned our walking routes, and dreamed about the memories we'd make. We booked a modestly priced hotel in Union Square, nothing fancy, but clean and centrally located. The confirmation email specified a queen bed and mentioned that 2 keys would be provided at check-in. Perfect. The flight to San Francisco was uneventful, and we arrived at the hotel around mid-afternoon, tired but buzzing with anticipation. The hotel lobby was small but tastefully decorated with local art and sleek, modern furniture. It had that boutique hotel feel without the boutique hotel price tag, exactly what we'd hoped for. As we approached the front desk, I noticed the clerk, a man probably in his mid-30s with perfectly styled hair and a crisp blue shirt that matched the hotel's color scheme. His name tag read Michael, and he greeted us with a warm, professional smile. "Checking in?" he asked, his fingers already poised over the keyboard. "Yes, reservation for Jamie Thompson," I replied, sliding my ID and credit card across the counter. Michael typed efficiently, his eyes scanning the screen. "I see your reservation. 1 room, queen bed, 3 nights." He processed my card and then reached into a drawer for the key cards. I noticed he only pulled out 1. "Could we get 2 keys, please?" I asked, gesturing between Alex and myself. The confirmation said 2 would be provided. Something interesting happened then. Michael glanced up, his eyes moving between Alex and me. There was a moment, just the briefest flicker, where I saw recognition in his eyes. Not judgment, not discomfort, but something more like understanding. He looked down at his drawer again, made a show of searching through it, and then looked up with an apologetic smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "I'm so sorry, gentlemen, but it seems we're having an issue with our key system today. I can only provide 1 key card at check-in." He handed me the single key with that same not quite apologetic smile. "If you need another one later, just come back to the desk." As we walked toward the elevator, Alex leaned in close. "Did that seem weird to you? The key thing?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah, a bit. But maybe they really are having system issues." Alex raised an eyebrow. Or maybe he saw 2 guys checking in together and made an assumption. I hadn't wanted to say it out loud, but the thought had crossed my mind too. It wasn't uncommon. People make assumptions, sometimes well-intentioned ones, sometimes not. But there was something about Michael's smile that didn't feel negative. It felt almost conspiratorial. Our room was on the 9th floor, with a decent view of the city streets below. It was small but comfortable, with modern furnishings and a surprisingly large bathroom. We unpacked quickly, eager to start exploring the city. "So how are we going to handle the one-key situation?" Alex asked as he hung up his shirts in the tiny closet. "I guess we'll just have to stick together," I replied with a grin. "Terrible, I know." He laughed and pulled me in for a quick kiss. The absolute worst. Here's where the story takes an interesting turn. What started as a minor inconvenience, having only one key between us, actually became something of a blessing in disguise. We had originally talked about splitting up for a few hours on our second day. Alex wanted to visit a specific bookstore, while I had planned to check out a design exhibition. But with only one key, we decided to do everything together. That first evening, we wandered through Chinatown, sharing plates of dim sum and laughing at our terrible attempts to use chopsticks. We walked hand in hand down to the Embarcadero as the sun set, watching the Bay Bridge light up against the darkening sky. There was a freedom in being together in a new city where nobody knew us, where we could just be ourselves without the weight of history or expectations. The next morning, we headed down to the lobby for the complimentary breakfast. Michael was at the front desk again, and he gave us that same knowing smile as we passed. It was starting to feel less like a coincidence and more like he had deliberately lost our second key. "Good morning, gentlemen," he called out. "Everything's satisfactory with your room?" "Everything's great," I replied, though we were wondering if the key system is working today. We could really use that second key. Michael's smile didn't falter. "Still having some technical difficulties, I'm afraid. IT is working on it, but it might not be resolved until tomorrow." He lowered his voice slightly. "San Francisco is best experienced together anyway, don't you think?" There it was, confirmation that this was deliberate. But rather than feeling annoyed, I found myself intrigued. Was this his way of encouraging us to spend time together? Was he playing matchmaker for a couple already matched? Alex and I exchanged glances, a silent communication passing between us. We decided to roll with it. "I guess we'll have to manage," Alex said with a shrug and a smile. After breakfast, we headed to Golden Gate Park, spending hours wandering through the Japanese tea garden and the Conservatory of Flowers. We took ridiculous tourist photos at the bridge and rode the cable cars up and down the steep hills until our cheeks hurt from smiling. At every moment, we were together, not because we had to be due to the key situation, but because we wanted to be. By our second night, the one key situation had become something of a running joke between us. "Don't forget the precious key," Alex would say dramatically as we left the room. "The one key to rule them all," I'd reply in my best Lord of the Rings impression. But there was truth behind the joke. That key had become a symbol of our togetherness, a physical representation of how this trip was bringing us closer. We were no longer just dating. We were partners navigating a new place, making decisions together, creating shared memories that would last long after we returned home. On our final morning, we packed our bags and prepared to check out. Michael was at the front desk again, and this time his smile seemed different, warmer, more genuine. "Checking out already?" he asked as I handed over the single key card. "How was your stay in San Francisco?" "It was perfect," I said honestly, though we never did get that second key. Michael's eyes twinkled. "Some things happen for a reason, don't they?" He leaned forward slightly. "You know, I've been in the hotel business for 15 years. I've seen all kinds of couples come through those doors. The ones who make it, really make it, are the ones who don't need separate keys. They're the ones who want to experience everything together." I felt Alex's hand slip into mine, squeezing gently. "My partner and I have been together for 12 years now," Michael continued. "We took a trip like yours early in our relationship. Best thing we ever did was lose one of our keys." He winked and handed me the receipt. "Safe travels, gentlemen." As we walked out of the hotel into the bright San Francisco morning, Alex turned to me. "So, the front desk clerk was playing Cupid the whole time?" I laughed. "Apparently so, though we didn't exactly need his help." "No," Alex agreed. "But I'm kind of glad he did it anyway. This weekend would have been different if we'd had separate keys." He was right. If we'd had two keys, we might have spent hours apart, missed shared experiences, lost those moments of connection that come from navigating a new place together. The lost key had forced us to synchronize in ways we might not have otherwise. The taxi ride to the airport was quiet, both of us lost in thoughts about the weekend. As the city receded behind us, I realized something important. This trip had changed us. We'd arrived as two individuals in a relationship, but we were leaving as a partnership, more unified than before. I think I want to travel more with you, Alex said suddenly, breaking the silence. Not just weekend trips. Longer ones. Different countries, maybe. My heart swelled. I'd like that too. We could start saving now, he continued, enthusiasm building in his voice. Maybe next year we could do a week somewhere. Europe or Asia, or even just a road trip down the coast. I smiled, imagining the possibilities. One hotel room at a time. Definitely, he laughed. Though maybe next time we should request just one key from the start. When we got home that evening, exhausted but happy, Alex didn't go back to his apartment as originally planned. He stayed. And the next night, too. Within a month, we were talking about making our living arrangement permanent. Within 3, he had officially moved in. Sometimes I think about Michael and wonder if he knows the impact he had on us. By losing that second key, he gave us more than just a funny story to tell. He gave us a glimpse of what our life could be like together, fully intertwined and in sync. It's been almost a year since that trip to San Francisco. Alex and I are still together, stronger than ever. We've taken 2 more trips since then, a road trip to Portland and a week in Mexico. Each time, we've requested just one room key. And each time, I've thought of Michael's knowing smile and silent understanding. In a world that sometimes makes being yourself complicated, it was refreshing to encounter someone who not only accepted us, but actively encouraged our connection. So if you're ever staying at that hotel in Union Square and a front desk clerk named Michael happens to lose your second key, don't be too quick to complain. He might just be giving you the gift of togetherness, a chance to experience a place not as individuals, but as partners sharing every moment. As for Alex and me, we're saving up for our next adventure. We're thinking Japan this time, a 2-week exploration of Tokyo and Kyoto. 1 room, 1 key, and endless possibilities. Because sometimes the best journeys aren't about the places you go, but about who you go with and how you choose to experience them together. And if you're wondering if splitting a hotel room to save cash can actually lead to something meaningful, I'm here to tell you that it absolutely can. Sometimes the most magical moments come from practical decisions, and sometimes the universe, or a meddling hotel clerk with a knowing smile, gives you exactly what you need, even when you don't realize you need it. Total _char_count, 17,834.